Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Super Bowl online tailgate. Even saying those words is quite the thing, isn't it, really? And of course, we're almost just over 24 hours away from kickoff in Super Bowl 56, where the LA Rams will be taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. That's right, us. We're playing in the Super Bowl tomorrow. I don't think many people out there can still quite believe it, but we're here. We are here. It is us. They're not us. We are here. We are us. It is us. They are us. We're not. I'm not sure what's going on. Joining me in this very special online tailgate, it is Jamie Rowe. Hello, Jamie.
Hello.
And Peter Daswell. Dallas, how you doing?
Not bad at all. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, to begin with, I think that first week of after beating the Chiefs, I think people were kind of walking around in a bit of a daze because let's face it, we're not used to this. We're not. We always tend to watch the Super Bowl. We're at home. We have a little nap in the evening in preparation. We maybe get a few beers in. We maybe get a few snacks in. But we're always used to watching other teams in the Super Bowl. And now we're going to have to get used to watching us in the Super Bowl. And of course, both of you coming down to the Bengals UK Super Bowl party in London at the Comedy Pub just off Piccadilly Circus tomorrow. So that's an added layer of surrealism right there. But this, am I right in thinking that this second week, the idea of us being in the Super Bowl has started to bed in a little bit? Well, am I right to think that, Jamie?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about the game. Some of it kind of valid. Some of it from people who seem to have only kind of come to terms with the idea that the Bengals are in the Super Bowl at some point this week. This is big, and it's bigger than I thought it was going to be, because it's all the usual Super Bowl nonsense that you watch from afar, and suddenly it's happening. So suddenly you've got Radio Row going on, and kind of they were in this empty stadium for it, which I thought was quite a nice setting. It's great. It's weird and great.
And Peter,
I have to say, yeah, I dislike bye week generally because the 2 week wait for the Bengals to play is frustrating. I mean, I know that obviously the players could do with that break, but as a fan, I dislike it. But we've had the same here. We've had 2 weeks, and it's been a good 2 weeks because that first week was just coming round to the idea of, heck, we're in the Super Bowl. I mean, you were right. We were numb for a first quite a few days. And then the build-up's been nice and gradual. And this week has just got, every day has just got the excitement just building up. Someone messaged me today and said, how are you feeling? And I said, oh, it's surprisingly calm. But I think it's the calm before the storm, because come tomorrow, and with the gathering the Bengals fans we're going to have in the pub, it's just going to be excitement overload. It really is.
yeah, I mean, Super Bowl can be overwhelming, just because of the sheer, the sheer exposure to a global audience, and it's kind of been I've not been watching that many videos, I have to say. I think I might go back after the Super Bowl and watch all. I watched the Breeze interview with Burrow, and I've watched the Tony Dungy interview with Zach, and the Sam Hubbard interview with Jack Collinsworth. I watched a few of the press conferences, but I've been keeping it pretty real, really, because I think if you get caught up in it, it can be overwhelming. So if it becomes overwhelming for fans, God knows what it's going to be like for the players itself. Mind you, they're probably kept in a little bubble and they're out practicing every day.
Yeah.
But for us, I guess we're just at home working, failing to concentrate every day. And, perhaps it's even more overwhelming for us, really.
And I think that's fair enough. I've taken the other route. I've just been absorbing every little bit that I can find. Maybe there's just a reflection on nothing else going on. But I'm old enough to remember the previous Super Bowls. We didn't have social media like we did then. We didn't have the opportunity of absorbing it all from thousands of miles away, and it's just been a wonderful 2 weeks in that respect. And I know everyone, one of us three, have had a lot of involvement with inquiries from other media and social media and podcasts. Interest in the Bengals is obviously on Bengals fans is obviously at an all-time high because we're in this big game, and it's been keeping us busy and entertained at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, we've had our own Radio Row, our own version of Radio Row this week. I mean, Pete, you've been on Radio London. Jamie Radio Row, we should call you, because you've been on Jeff Reinbold's show. I've been on 5 Live. Leanne's been on 5 Live. I mean, and I can also reveal that a bunch of us will be on Channel 5 tomorrow morning, a cross-section of Bengals fans talking about the Super Bowl. So tune in to Channel 5's NFL show at 10:30 tomorrow morning. So you're right. It's kind of, it's kind of crazy. And it does remind me a little bit of the 2016 and 2019 London games. We're getting, I hate to, blow my own trumpet and whatnot, but, they've been in touch, and I've been on Cincinnati news stations, and, I will be on Monday just talking about the experience, and we'll be putting out videos and photographs of our meetup. And, the interest in us as a group is just off the chart, which is fantastic. It gives us a chance to grow the group, and, we're not far behind the Cowboys now in terms of followers. We could be taking over 5th spot in the NFL fan group Twitter follower race, but so it's all kicking off. I mean, Pete, when you spoke to BBC Radio London, what was their kind of attitude to it all?
I mean, it was very, very much scripted. They had the questions they wanted to ask, and the general vibe was, "Oh, look at the plucky Bengals. This is a nice story. It's unexpected. How are you feeling about it? Because you can't have expected this." And all that's true. I think even the most wildly optimistic Bengals fan, UK Bengals fan, and that might be me, but would have said maybe next year we'll have a playoff run. And every single step of this season, every single level we've got to, we just seem to be surpassing it and going on. And to a certain extent, it's a pity there's only one more game left, because next season we press restart and go again. But just one more to go, and let's get it done.
We've got some messages coming in. Ken Buzzard says, "Good evening, gents. I woke up this morning and you know what? We're still AFC champs. Oh my God, we're playing in the Super Bowl tomorrow. It is us." Jason Lee Marcus says, "Hi, folks. Got my Cincinnati Bengals top on. Who day, Jason?" Andrew Knott. "Anyone else finding it weird how much talk / praise there is for the Bengals? I'm actually finding it slightly discomforting. Makes me think this is how you come out slow or overwhelmed on game day." I mean, I think they'll be all right. I think they'll be pretty grounded on game day, but I also think they'll be super confident as well, which is kind of what you want. K Deepesh says, "Hi from India." Hi, Mr. Deepesh. How you doing? Who day from the UK to India? Darren Neal. Hello from Lima, Ohio in the US. Yes. Matthew Morris, who effing day? Carson Palmer is a bum. Pass it on.
Awesome, Palmer.
I am drunk and I love you all. Dane Robert, who day from Dayton, Ohio. Dane, check out the local news. I was on the local news in Dayton yesterday. Actually, Moz is drinking a Nutella on toast stout. You will be hearing from Moz a bit later. We haven't got any music or any entertainment. We want you to come on the show today. Yeah. So if you see the link on Twitter, then just press it and come and say hello, because one person is in the queue. Let's bring in Darmid from Ireland. How you doing, Darmid?
Hello, Paul. How are you doing? I'm doing very great. Really excited for tomorrow night.
Good, because you're coming, aren't you? I've seen the ticket list, and you are on the list, my friend.
Yeah, my brother lives in London, so yeah, I came over last night, and I was able to sort out work from obviously. Hopefully, all being well, I'll be there. Yeah, they're really excited.
Great. And where are you from in Ireland, Darmid?
So it's Fermanagh, so it's Northern Ireland. So it's
Right, yeah.
maybe near enough near Belfast.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming over
Yeah.
for tomorrow night. I mean, obviously, it's going to be strange for lots of people coming to meetups for the first time to be in a room with Bengals fans, just full stop. But being in a room with Bengals fans, watching them in the Super Bowl, I mean, that's going to be surrealism overload. So, are you? How are you? I mean, let's separate out everything. I think the best thing to do when things are feeling a bit overwhelming is just separate things out and break things down. Let's talk about the game. How are you feeling about the game?
Quite optimistic about the game. Definitely, I feel definitely optimistic. I feel I'm really optimistic on what our defense can do against the LA offense. Because I really feel that Sam Hubbard, for me, is one of the most underrated players. And yeah, he's got I think it's 10 sacks in the regular season, 2 into post, and constantly pressure and good in the run game. I feel he'll have. I think he could have a big game tomorrow. But I'm generally excited about the game because I feel LA Rams, the previous the games via the Rams and Buccaneers, they were only able to close them games out. And if you're allowing Joe Burrow in the game, he's going to take advantage. He's going to I really if the LA Rams can't close the game out, and if Joe Burrow's the ball at the end, I really feel excited about that.
So obviously, it's an early start for me going down to London tomorrow. At sort of waking up at 6:30. Are you heading straight from Northern Ireland, or are you staying over tonight?
Yeah, I'm in London now as we speak.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Some of us can actually plan their trips, Jamie, and well, Darmy, listen, man, we can't wait to see you tomorrow night, and I kind of agree with everything you said. Really, we'll get into that in a minute. But thanks for coming on, man, and we'll see. I can't wait to meet you in person, and thank you for saying hello.
Yeah.
Good day.
Craig,
I
Richard.
noticed, Paul.
Go on. Yeah, sorry.
No, sorry, Paul. I'm just going to say ESPN are reporting that they believe there's going to be more Bengals fans in the Super Bowl than LA Rams.
See, I always thought that the fact that the game was in the Rams Stadium was a bit of a misnomer in terms of home field advantage, because if I mentioned this on the podcast last week, if it was a regular season game or a championship game, that is genuine home field advantage there, because you'll have far more Rams fans than Bengals fans. But this is a neutral game. It just happens to be played at the Rams Stadium, and judging by social media, not pretty much. There's loads of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people left in Cincinnati, but a pretty large, not even a majority, but a pretty large number of people have made the trip over to LA.
Yeah, and obviously in this country, when you see the England football, or let's call it for the purpose, England soccer team, the fans always seem to find a way to get to away games when tickets are hard, when it's a long distance. They are always well supported. Same with the England cricket team. And it does seem like the Bengals fans are the same. Tickets restricted, they find a way. Tickets expensive, they find a way. And obviously it's been a loveliest run because they've really been supporting them on the road very, very well. It looks like it'll be one more game. They'll be supporting them on the road again.
This is going to be the first media arse that I call out, but Darren Rovell yesterday put a tweet out saying, only 9% of the tickets in the stadium have come from Ohio. The Bengals are not going to be a presence. Yeah, that's not the case, Darryl. And as you well know, Cincinnati is not only Ohio, it's Kentucky, it's Indiana. There's a lot of orange and black going down there.
Yeah, I agree. And do you know what, though? I've been I've just been ignoring, I've been ignoring what Carson Palmer says. I've been ignoring what I can't remember his name, but the guy that's just very clickbaity and critical of the Bengals, saying they're rubbish and blah, blah, blah. I've been just ignoring it. Why am I going to let those twats just ruin my fun in the week? Do you know what I mean? I've been feeling, good I'm just not going to let any of that kind of ridiculousness ruin my And I'm certainly not retweeting anything on our feed, just because why would you want to give oxygen to any of that kind of stuff? But I must say one thing about Carson Palmer. He just feels like a jilted, bitter, like girlfriend who's been kind of dumped 10 years ago, or boyfriend, obviously, and just can't get over it. Just cannot get over it. And I think that's a real shame, because he was a great player, and we've had him on the podcast. He's a really nice bloke, but it's kind of like, come on, Palmer. It's just, why are you pushing this narrative when you don't need to? He's talking about Joe Burrow. After the Super Bowl, he's not going to be sticking around. Like, come on, man! You should be pleased for the whole thing.
The concept that Joe Burrow, in the biggest game of his life, immediately afterwards, just at the end of year 2 of his first contract, is thinking about the end of his contract, whether he's going to stick on. I just don't buy that. I mean, the reality is that Joe Burrow has already done in year 2, his first full year, he's already achieved more for the Bengals, than Carson Palmer did. And he does, you're right, he just comes over as a very bitter old man, which is sad, because I don't think he is like that normally. As you said, you've had him on the podcast, and he certainly didn't come over that way.
No, he's a really nice bloke, really, really nice bloke. But he's just something is stuck in his craw, and he just won't let it go. Dane Robert did indeed see me on the news in Ohio, in Dayton. And he said, saw you on the news and joined the page. So there you go. It was worth doing, because Dane is on board and following us. Craig Richards, I've got my shirt ready to go. Gutted I couldn't get time off to come to London for the meetup. There will be others, Craig. Absolutely. There might, judging by your Aston Villa avatar there might even be some in Birmingham coming up at some point. Martin Ravenskier from Houday from Denmark. See you tomorrow in London. Yes, Martin is coming from
Denmark.
There we go.
I can't wait to meet you, Martin. You can tell me.
It shows one thing, Paul.
Sorry?
It shows you one thing. This is not Bengals UK. This is Bengals Europe.
Absolutely. We needed to book a bigger venue, really, didn't we?
Wembley.
Matt McCarthy. I'm a Bengals fan from LA. It's a dream to have them competitive for a Super Bowl title in my hometown. I love listening to you guys. Your passion and love for the boys is fantastic. Thanks, Matt. It's that's I really appreciate those words, and thought a Super Bowl song might turn people off after the podcast this week, but seems to have gone down relatively well. Sponge Joe Smart Pants. As I mentioned I tell you one person who I did see today, one video I did see today, and I watched because, I am a huge fan, and that's Boomer. He does a daily radio show that's filmed and put out on YouTube. He was absolutely brilliant. Now, Boomer had his troubles with the Bengals and Mike Brown and all the rest of it, but he's wearing his old Bengal shirt on the radio. Yeah. He's throwing out all objectivity. He's just like, man, I'm getting behind this lot. These are my boys, and it's so cool to see, because I grew up idolizing that man, and it was so cool to see him obviously, if he was doing CBS broadcast, he'd have to be hyper objective, but he's not. So he's not, and he's not. He's just loving he's just loving it. He's just loving the whole kind of feel good factor about the Bengals, and I think that's one thing, Pete, that people are really, really latching onto. That it's forget the Cowboys. We seem to be America's team at the moment. And when I spoke, I don't know what it was like for you, but when I spoke on the radio, all the presenters were like, right, I'm going to be supporting the Bengals. They sound like fun, and I'm always going to go for the underdogs. They sound great. And I think that's true, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we often say in this country that we like the underdog, and the Bengals have been this plucky underdog. But I think even stateside, we have hit we've hit on something which is engaging, and we've got a good, young, exciting group of players. I think I'll say the word because it's bandied around a lot, the swag that players like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and the like are bringing to the game is turning people on. And there are millions of fans of the NFL, and when their team aren't in the Super Bowl, they are nonetheless rooting for a team, and it seems like it's the Bengals because of all that. And maybe an element about the Rams and their nomadic existence might have also affect whether people are really engaged with them, unlike the Bengals. So yeah, I totally agree. I think there is a big neutral rooting for us, if you like.
Jamie, you finding it weird, as one of our commenters said? You know, who was it? It was Andrew, who said it's a bit. And Andrew just sent a message. It's lovely seeing how much of the 88 Bengals are praising this team. No bitterness.
Yeah.
We've had so many on the podcast and so many still live in the Cincy area. That's very true. And that is really special. And I think they genuinely want some redemption via this team too. I think that's absolutely right. You know, a lot of them do still live in the Cincinnati area. Eric Thomas we had on a few weeks ago. Solomon Wilcots. Tim Cromrise recently moved back to Cincinnati. You know, all these guys. Icky is a Cincinnati legend now, both in terms of the Bengals and he lives in Cincinnati. The brilliant Joe Kelly, our friend Joe Kelly. Go through that team. I mean, Chris Collinsworth is the highest profile guy. And, you know, he is calling the game tomorrow night and he's going to have to be objective. But even he's getting on board. That podcast he did with CJ Uzama was fantastic. Are you a little bit disconcerted about this feel-good attitude? Or I'm lapping it up. I love it. Whatever, Jamie.
We're going to have to get used to this because this is not going to be the only time this happens. And we're sat here as the AFC's best team, and the team isn't complete yet. There's improvements to be made. We can go out and get an O-line. We can go out and get some pass rush in the summer, and we come back again next year and we do it again. And I think that if we keep Burrow upright for 10 years, there are going to be multiple opportunities to win a Super Bowl. So, yeah, it might seem a bit strange now, but this is going to become the norm.
And also, the norm might be next season, is that we're not going to have very many 6:00 Sunday games. We're going to be
that's true.
Anyway, let's not cast our minds forward. Let's just talk about.
Can I comment on what Jamie said? I mean, I don't disagree with you at all, Jamie. But when I think about the game tomorrow, increasingly I'm thinking about this is our one time we have to do this. How many of the previous Super Bowl younger players of the Bengals thought, okay, this is the way things are going to go. We're going to have plenty more trips back here, and never did. Dan Marino, the Dolphins, one of the best quarterbacks to ever throw the ball around. He went in his second year, never returned to the Super Bowl, and that really
Aaron Rodgers
affected
as well.
His legacy. Yeah, exactly. So we have to take. This is our chance, and we can't assume that we hope. We can't assume that we're going to have many more. Gosh, we hope we don't have to wait another 33 years. But we're there now. We need to make the most of it right now.
Absolutely. People heading out to LA from Cincinnati were greeted by this at CVG Airport. That is, or looks like, a Skyline chili cocktail of some description, which is basically a bit of chili in a glass. And pointedly, if you look on the right-hand side, there's a small bottle of Pepto-Bismol waiting there, which
That's apt.
Which is very apt indeed. We keep mentioning the meetup tomorrow, and here's a little promo that we do. I should mention that event is totally sold out and ticket only, but we just want to show that off because we were excited. It's the biggest thing we've ever done, and it should be quite an evening at the Comedy Pub. So thank you to everyone who's bought a ticket. Thank you to the Comedy Pub, who's really genuinely bent over backwards to accommodate us and what we wanted and what we wanted the place to look like. So we can't wait to share it with you all. But I will say this, as I said on the podcast, yes, the meetup will be great fun, but wherever you watch it, it'll still be fantastic, whether you're at home or whether you go to a sports bar somewhere, whether you're sharing it with friends or family. You'll be wearing your Bengals shirt and you'll be having the best time. I know. I was planning to fly to Cincinnati this week, but I decided to stay home and get this meetup sorted. And I'm pleased I did. I think it's going to be fantastic.
I've got one for Jamie. Jamie, I was asked this question earlier today, and I think this is apt for you. For those who don't know, Jamie is a very keen football fan. He's a very keen fan of Sheffield United. I'm a very keen fan of Sheffield Wednesday. I was asked this question. Jamie, Super Bowl win today and Sheffield United not getting promoted.
Easily, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, easily.
I was asked this by a neutral fan, and I just said, it's not. You don't even give it a second thought. This is the first time in 33 years we've never even won the thing. So absolutely.
I like the championship as well.
The same answer.
Good away days.
Yeah.
I'm drinking some fancy beer tonight. I am drinking, this one's from Mars if you're watching, I'm drinking a rhubarb and custard sour in Bolt City. And I've just literally opened a Hachino Nest IPA.
Oh boy.
Normally we have live music and all kinds of stuff going on, but we thought we wanted to just talk about the game and where we are with it psychologically and all the rest of it. But we do have Moz with some beer recommendations because that's tradition and it's our last tailgate of the season and we needed to get Moz involved. So here's Moz.
Hello Bengals fans. Super Bowl party. Word I thought I'd never utter. Blimey. This is surreal. This is crazy. And what more do you need than beer and, a nice little Super Bowl win, eh? Yeah, let's go for it. I'm going to recommend 3 beers this week, special occasion, why not? The first beer I'm going to recommend, now, I know it is Palax. It is a Spanish lager. I need to remember the brewery because it's not a big brewery. It's Cerveja Artesana La Rioja. Something like that. It's something along those lines. You'll see the picture. You just type in Palax lager, you'll find it. It's on Untapped. It's got really not very good ratings, but I think it's a really delicious lager. To be honest, it's not overly strong. I think it's about 5%, 4.9, something like that. It's quite a sweet lager. Also, it's got quite a bit of citrusy fruits, honey. It's perfect sessionable beer, and it's perfect when it gets red hot as well. They aren't very expensive. They aren't overly readily available, but you can get them quite easy. I've seen more on keg than bottles, but you can get bottles over here. It's just a really good lager, to be honest. I'm a bit perplexed why it gets such bad ratings, to be honest, on my beer apps and stuff. And screw the beer apps. See, I'm not swearing this time. The second beer I'm going to recommend is called Inner Realms. This is a New England IPA, 6% from Cloudwater. And it's an Antipodean. It's basically Australian, New Zealand hops, whatever that is called. It's something. And with this, I'm a big fan of Australian, New Zealand hops. And with this, you get a lot of gooseberry, citrusy fruit, peach, white wine type vibes. And with this, there's a bit of bitterness to balance all them juicy flavours out. There's also a little bit of funk in there, which I don't normally get, but you can kind of get sometimes with these type of hops. And it really, really balanced, delicious beer. Like I say, 6%, it's not overly strong. It's really tasty. It's quite easy to get still, I believe. It's not the newest Cloudwater beer, but it should be quite easy to get still, I'd imagine. And the third beer, second, I confuse myself now, is from Glasshouse. This is called Tanziki. I think that's right. Yeah, you'll see the can again. Tanziki or Tanizaki, something like that. It's a 10% Imperial Stout. I had it last night, and the best way to explain it was tangy coffee. It was like a, do you know what you have like goat's cheese, and it's like that, quite tangy, slight fruitiness. I know goat's cheese has a bit of earthiness, but there's that fruity twang to it, and it's a nice, good coffee flavour. It's 10%. It doesn't taste like it's really easy to drink, and yeah, it's only a small can, so it's you'd be fine with one of them. There's a bit of like a nougat-y, hazelnutty type thing in there as well, and yeah, it's just a really good stout. I actually had all these beers last night, funnily enough. I don't normally I normally look ahead and see what's new, but they're all fantastic beers, and there's a bit for everyone really. That's the kind of point I wanted to do this week. And yeah, I've not sworn, so I'm sure Paul's appreciative. Honestly, I swear I did not realise I swore 9 times. I thought I swore once at the start, and then obviously I've got no filter. That's from my mum, I think. But yeah, Super Bowl, Christ alive. Go for it. All in, aren't we? All in. I hope you'll have a great time down London, for everyone who's travelling down. I was hoping to actually go to Cincinnati, but because I'm an idiot, I thought I booked in my tattoo to be finished off, because there's a few marks that need doing on my Bengals one. I thought it was this Saturday. Turns out it's next Saturday. So I've missed a trip of a lifetime, and I might end up regretting. I'm going to end up regretting it, because we're going to win the Super Bowl. So, oh Christ! But I spent it with my brother and his wife, and hopefully my other brother as well. The last time we actually watched a game together was the Rams-Bengals game at Wembley. And this is completely different. Because that team was pathetic. The game was pathetic, and this is just going to be all-out balling game. Both great teams in my opinion, and it's going to be just an excellent Super Bowl to watch. So all the haters out there, jog on. Anyway, let's get that ring, Joey. Get that ring you deserve, boy. Uday.
Good on Moz. He mixes beer recommendations with quite insightful life stories, I think, and a huge thank you to Matt Morris there for doing it again this season. A really valuable part of the tailgate. So thank you, Mozza. Just a few things to share with you on social media, because obviously it's great. A lot of Bengals fans from Cincinnati seem to be posting pictures like this.
Oh, God.
Throughout the... Oh, hold on. Let me try that again.
That's worse.
Yeah, I know. Hold on a sec. Sorry. What's going on? So that's basically an In-N-Out burger, and people seem to be very enamored by In-N-Out burgers. Of course, it's famous in movies and all the rest of it. I'm not quite sure what that sauce is on the fries. It's cheesy fries with some sort of vomit on there, and then an enormous burger. So
it looks like Campbell's mushroom soup.
It really does.
Yeah, this isn't the best advert for Popeyes.
Look, Americans love putting soup. Maybe Dale or anyone, or Kenneth is watching this. Soup in casseroles. They tend to make casseroles with canned soup. That's always flummoxed me a little bit.
I've been. Are you sure about that? I mean, Paul Campbell's condensed soup I've been using as the base for casseroles. My mum did way back when, 40, 50 years ago.
Okay.
Campbell's condensed soup.
All right.
#spon.
Next one we have from Clark Harris's Instagram account, a Twitter account. He's been to the locker rooms. The lockers are ready, and that's a big moment for Clark, who's been around the team
for
a long time. A Pro Bowl long snapper, and that must be a huge moment for him and the rest of the players. Just seeing your locker in SoFi Stadium, that must be a hell of a thing, and that's really cool. And finally, one that I think will enamor us all. It's made it. It's made the long journey, and it's there.
Yes,
it is.
Here we go.
The Mr. Michael Cart is there in SoFi. I mean, that is brilliant. I just love the way they've taken that and turned that into a real thing.
It's had a life of its own now, this story, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Another thing we've seen on social media, pal Mike Source has done another little TikTok video. I haven't watched this yet, but he's allowed us to show it. But so here's Mike's little TikTok video.
Welcome back to Sports Sauce, your home for unbiased sports analysis.
And this week we've got the mother of all games, the Super Bowl. LA Rams versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
Who day? You okay, Mike?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, first thing we want to look at is that offensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Who day?
Brennan, you okay? You see it too.
I don't know.
Who day?
Ah!
Ah! Hooday!
There you go. Joey B gets everywhere, doesn't he? Hooday to Mike Brennan there. Hoping to get Mike back on the tailgate at some point soon. One of our flock, Dave Cass, is going to be joining us live from LA. He's remortgaged the house and got tickets to the Super Bowl. And of course, he went to the AFC Championship game as well. So he's obviously got a very, very understanding partner and a very understanding bank manager as well. So Dave will be joining us, I believe, live from the fan event, the pre-Super Bowl fan event. So that'll be cool. Gives us a bit of time to chat about the game. The absolute focus is on how many times Joe Burrow will be sacked tomorrow, because obviously Aaron Donald and Von Miller are future Hall of Fame players, and Aaron Donald can certainly wreck a game on his own. We've seen it against good offensive lines. How are you feeling about that, Pete? What do we have to do to limit them?
Look, we know that the offensive line isn't as strong as we would want it. We know that Burrow is the most sacked quarterback in the NFL this season. Joe Burrow is also the quarterback who's carried his team to the Super Bowl despite those sacks. Donald's going to get his. We know he's going to get his, but it's a case of making sure that the sacks aren't crucial. They're not third down sacks, because Burrow just needs an opportunity of still getting that first down. But what frustrates me somewhat is that the media jump on easy stories without going into any deeper analysis. So they bang on about Donald's going to take over this game. The O-line can't stand up to Donald. Donald is a sack master. Yeah, he is. He's had 14.5 sacks in 20 games this season. Let's completely ignore the other side. But Trey Hendrickson has 16.5 sacks in 17 games. They don't talk about that. So I'm just as keen to see.
Yeah, but Trey Hendrickson's not blocking Aaron Donald, though, is he? You can do the whole thing about the comparison, but the fact is, they're going to be after Joe Burrow tomorrow. Quite naturally, it's the Super Bowl,
this O-line had faced the most elite pass rushers all season, and we found a way. That's the point. We found a way, and we're still at the Super Bowl. And you just have to have confidence that Donald will get his, but we'll still find a way. And then as I said, I try and turn it around and say, but let's get at Stafford without pass rush, which people just seem to ignore.
Jamie, I'm expecting a few more Max Protect packages out there. They did it against Kansas City, and they did it pretty well, actually. And I think we're facing a similar, if not better, defensive line than we did against Tennessee. What are you expecting tomorrow?
I wonder if I would possibly advocate going the other way round and going, right,
empty.
Did you know that Aaron Donald's really good at passing, pass rush? This is something that apparently the Bengals are going to learn this week, and this is something that isn't widely known around the league. Let Aaron Donald do his thing. I don't think he can be stopped, which is fine. You just have to find a way around it. God bless Jackson Carman, because I think Carman will be starting tomorrow. That is a tough assignment, trying to block Aaron Donald all day. He'll get a bit of help from Trey Hopkins, and that might well work. But I would seriously consider going empty on quite a lot of occasions and just getting the ball out quick, getting the ball out on the perimeters. Target the Rams linebackers because they don't talk about their linebackers because they're not very good. Target the rest of their secondary that isn't called Jalen Ramsey because they don't talk about the rest of their secondary that isn't called Jalen Ramsey because either they're not very good or they're 38,000 years old like Eric Weddle.
Or 5'9".
Or 5'9" going up against T. Higgins.
Yeah.
We have a chance if we manage to scheme the Rams' strengths out of this game. You know, Aaron Donald is going to cause issues. Von Miller is going to cause issues. They're a great team, but we've got great coaching. The way we've won is that we've been this chameleon, that we've had games where we've won it by being elite through the air. We've had games where we've kind of ground it out a bit. This irritates a lot of the analytics guys who think that the Bengals can't be anything because they don't have an identity. The Bengals don't have an identity because they react and adapt to the opponents that they're going up against. And I can see that happening again.
No, I think that's a great point. And I think too much is put on a team having an identity in terms of the Americans, when I say the Americans, that's obviously a very sweeping generalization, but the American media, shall we say, have a real problem with things that don't fit in little boxes.
Yes.
And that goes to the running of the Bengals. No GM, that's rubbish. Not a massive scouting staff, that's they must be rubbish. A mom and pop family organization, that's just behind the times. They don't, as Pete said earlier, it's a very sort of drive-by analysis of the team without actually going into any detail. But we've heard it. If you've listened to any of the Athletic podcasts this week with Paul Dana, hear that podcast Drowning. I mean, they really went into the scouting question and interviewed some of the scouting staff, and they were brilliant. They kind of said, we don't want loads of people. We just want a united scouting staff. And that's just one example. Yeah. But you're right. There's too much put on this. A team has got to have an identity, whether it's a grinding out running game or just a pass only team. And you're so right. We've won it by adapting and being agile and on the fly. And the fact is we've got enough weapons either through the air or on the ground to adapt to any defense in any situation, I think.
This week we've seen the worst of Barry Bullshit from Pro Football Far. We have seen just guys who have no clue somehow kind of looking their way into getting a media pass and looking their way onto, getting themselves on some, on some like podcast or on some TV show and just talking about things they don't know anything about. And, it's easy enough to say we'll show them, but, I think some of these people are going to be in with a surprise.
I'm totally with you about going empty, but the other way to calm that pass rush down is run the ball. They're great at getting to the quarterback, but they don't like going back the other way when the running back goes past them. Run
right at them.
Absolutely, because you're very right about their linebackers. I would run Mixon, especially in the first half, because if he has any success and we start to control the clock a little bit, we'll then it opens up the play action pass as well, which will help the likes of Chase getting deep. So, of course, Donald is going to be the whole of that pass rush is going to be a worry for us all because we've experienced the number of times that Burrow's been hit, but there are ways of minimizing the actual effect of that damage.
Well, more chat about the game in a bit, but I think he's ready. Are you ready, Dave? I think you're ready. Yes, he is. He's ready. So we're going to join our friend Dave Cass, who's out in LA at the moment. Dave, how you doing?
Hi there, Paul. I'm doing really, really well at the moment. I'm having an absolutely fantastic time. So, Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm in the middle of the fans rally at the LA Convention Centre. So there's a lot of people about and there's a lot of noise, but it's a great experience.
You're coming through loud and clear, mate. And it's so cool to see. The last time we saw you was in Kansas City, or at least at the Arrowhead in there. And now you're in LA. Just real quick, Dave, when did you decide to go to LA?
Well, I sort of came back and, I said to my wife, look, I'm going to go to Kansas on the basis I won't be able to afford to go to the Super Bowl if we were to win. And I came back and she just said, look, you've got to go to the Super Bowl. You've been supporting this team. And she's been fantastic. She really has. Because, I know that there's a few fans from Bengals UK who had a look to go. And, the price, it is expensive. There's no getting away from it. It's not cheap, but she was absolutely fantastic and said, no, look, you need to go. The Bengals haven't been there for such a long while. They might never get there again. Just, go for it. It could be a once in a lifetime experience.
There you go.
Well done, Mrs. Cass.
So I'm very grateful to her, actually. Very grateful indeed. So, I've done it differently this time. I've gone with a group. Normally I just kind of book the flights, book the tickets, book the hotels on my own. But it's nice actually going around with about 20 others at the moment. Some of them are neutrals. They've just come over because they wanted to go to they just want to go to a Super Bowl. Most of them are Rams fans. And then there's me and one other Bengals fan from Scotland. So, but it's nice spending time with other guys, So that's all good.
Rumour has it, Dave, that you're going to be the Bengals UK roving reporter at every away game next season. Is that right?
It would be nice to do it, but I strongly suspect Mrs. Cass is going to take a very differing view when I want to go next. I think my wings could well be clipped very shortly, but I don't mind because, I'm going to go to a Super Bowl and that's just absolutely amazing.
Dave, what's it like? What's it been like over there? We've been seeing lots of Bengals fans travel over from Cincinnati. Are you seeing a lot of Bengals fans around town?
Yeah, there's a lot. I tell you where they've started to congregate or have been congregating, which is out at Santa Monica Beach, which is probably about 15 miles outside. So Santa Monica Beach is a very, very nice place. It's a really nice resort. We've taken over one of the bars there. I think it's Bengals Jim's been sorting it all out, and you might have seen him on Twitter getting things. So he's got things over there. Because I've been over a few times, it's nice because I'm meeting up with people who I've met before, which was fantastic. And then yesterday afternoon, which absolutely made my day, my favourite player in the team is Evan McPherson. I suppose that's very English, actually, that your favourite player is a kicker. But I really do like that young lad. And I just bumped into him in the street with some other people.
Really?
And so it was it's just absolutely fantastic. So I had my picture taken with him and had a chat to the guy. And as you'd expect, he was very, very cool. And I wasn't. So, I wasn't at all. So it was really great. But yeah, so there's a lot of Bengals fans. Obviously, it's been such a long while. We've had a long while to save up for this trip. So there's a lot of fans here. And let's just keep our fingers crossed for tomorrow now.
Tell us about where you are, Dave. You're at the convention center. What's happening there at the fan event?
I tell you what's so. There's lots and lots of people. It's what you'd expect in Los Angeles, a massive convention center, thousands of fans, not just from LA and Cincinnati, but from everywhere, and everybody's get the chance. There's a lot of players, so you can kind of get your photograph taken with players, get autographs, get your picture taken with the Lombardi Trophy. Got a queue for quite some time to get there. I think I was in an hour and a half queue, but it's just been fantastic. So yeah, lots and lots of people, lots of things to do, but a fair bit of queuing involved as well.
Yeah. So who have you had your photograph taken with today, apart from a trophy?
Well, at the moment, it's just a trophy. So I'm kind of checking out the players to see who's here. Most of them are tracked to get at a fairly long queue, so I'll be selective, and so that's what I'm about to do now. Go for a beer, check who's here, and because they're all on at different times, so there might be one or two I've missed already. There'll be someone during the afternoon, and then some kind of like not until 5:30. So I'll wait and see and work my way there from work my way out from there, really.
Mate, I'm so pleased for you. What a thing
Yeah.
to experience. And obviously, you'd have been there tomorrow night at our meetup, I would imagine. You've been to our meetup
without a shadow of
before.
a doubt.
But I can't really blame you for going. What a thing to attend.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant, mate. Absolutely brilliant.
It's really good. How many tickets did you sell? You know, Paul, I'm thinking back to when we had that little meet up in the bar in Marylebone.
Oh,
I think there was about
I remember that.
five of us, wasn't there? I know that one. So I think it was, I don't know, 5 of us. So how many have we actually got tomorrow?
150 people tomorrow night.
That is fantastic. I'm so pleased.
Yeah,
And,
3 floors
you
of the pub. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
That is just marvellous. Yeah, and I remember I became a Bengals fan because I watched the 89 Super Bowl and the 88 season. And that's what, it was the first game I ever saw, and it got me into American football. And this can only be great for our club. It's going to be fantastic. People will start supporting the Bengals now, and they'll do it all their lives. So I think the future looks good for us.
Well, that's why we exist, Dave. That's why we exist, to grow this fan base. And obviously, a Super Bowl appearance doesn't harm our cause, does it really? Dave, what's the plan tomorrow? What is talk us through Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday for Dave Cass in LA?
Yeah, so I've got myself a ticket through this group to a tailgate, and there's going to be a lot of tailgates out in Inglewood where the stadium is. Supposedly the traffic is going to be bad anyway, but then the truckers who are sort of blockading up in Canada are talking about blockading the Super Bowl. Whether they do or not, I don't know. But the idea is to get there really early, though. So I think we're going to be leaving at 9 o'clock. And then I'm not sure what time the game kicks off. I think it's like 2 or 3, but it's into the afternoon. So we're going to get there really early and just enjoy the atmosphere. I'm really keen to get into the ground quite early. So although the tailgate goes on till in effect just before kickoff, I think I'll spend a few hours there, but then head off into the stadium. I want to see our team warm up, and I just want to get a feel of the place. And
you want to savor every moment, soak it up, don't you? Really?
Yeah. You really do. These things happen few and far between. So you really want to sort of just be there for it all, really.
Dave, we're entirely envious, but also extremely chuffed for you, mate. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy, and it's been great spending and experiencing this with you this season as ever. Have the best time, man, and I'll give you a call when you get back, and we can have a beer sometime. You can tell me everything.
Do you know what? I think we will need a kind of a meet up in the close season, because I think my view on whether we win or lose, this takes a bit of unpacking, really. I don't know whether you talked about it in the tailgate, but I think for a lot of us, we've been through a bit of an emotional roller coaster.
Oh, yes.
It's this has been something really quite special for me, and I know it has been for all the Bengals fans who've been through the really hard years. When we won in Kansas, I was absolutely emotionally sort of taken to the cleaners, really. It was something really quite big. And so, I would love us all to get together when this is all over, whether we've won or whether we've lost, and just to kind of unpack it all and have a beer and just get ready for next season.
You're on, Dave. You're on. Listen, enjoy tomorrow, mate, and safe travels back to the UK.
Sounds marvellous. Thanks for having me on, and I'll speak to you guys soon, okay?
Bring us the Lombardi back, Dave.
Oh, God, I so wish. I so wish. Fingers crossed.
Enjoy
See you later,
yourself.
guys. Bye for now.
Cheers, Dave. Enjoy, mate. Enjoy. Well, there we go. There's Dave Cass there, and let me just get that right. There we go. Dave Cass out in LA. Always fun to talk to Dave, and Dave referenced one meetup that we had. It was off the cuff. It was at the Marylebone Sports Bar. There are about 4 of us. It was for that New Orleans game when they spanked us like 55 to whatever.
Oh, yes.
I think might have been Marvin. It was when Terrell Austin was defensive coordinator. Let's put it that way. And
it might have been the last game that Terrell Austin was defensive coordinator.
It might have been, yeah. And we turned up at the pub, and they wouldn't even switch over to Sky because they wanted to make the football finish, and it was just a nightmare. So look how far we've come. Look how far the Bengals have come. It's fantastic. Guys, we've got a couple of minutes now. I think we ought to have some predictions. And you guys who are watching, send us your predictions. Jamie, what are you going for?
24-21 Bengals. I think the Rams set off quickly. I think the Bengals adjust to that, and then slowly we claw our way back into it. And it's down to Evan McFurr at the end.
Pete?
I don't normally believe in fate, but I have to say that just the way the season's gone just makes me think, and I'm going to use a cliche, our name is on the cup.
And a score prediction, Pete? No, he's gone. Let me just get rid of Pete there. Is he back? Yes, he's back. A score prediction, Pete, you froze there.
Yeah. Well, just saying, I think our name's on the cup. It just feels like that this season. The way everything has gone, staying relatively free from injuries and getting the results, the comebacks, it just seems like we're fated for this. So I've got 27-24 Bengals, and like Jamie, McPherson is going to nail it, and we win Lombardi on one of his kicks.
Matthew Morris says Bengals are winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
can't argue with Mozza. Killian Malloy, who I also believe is going to be there tomorrow night, coming over from Ireland. Bengals 32, Rams 27. So a few field goals in that little score there. I think it's going to be close. I tend to agree with Jamie. I think we're going to do what we've always done this year. A team will probably get out. The Rams will probably get out in front a little bit. And then we will come back because, that's what Joe does. He's super calm, no panic, very calm under pressure. We've got the weapons to really hurt them, I think. If we can do enough on defense too, they've got great players in Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham, and Akers and Michelle are strong running backs in the back. But, it's all set up for a really good game. Actually, I genuinely think it could be a really, really, really good game for the neutral. Because another on this is going to a global audience. So you kind of want to show the Bengals in a good light, but also you want it to be a good game. So I think it will be genuinely a good game between two good teams. I can't bet against the Bengals. I think momentum is just so strong and confidence is just incredible at the moment. It's going to be close. I'm going to go for something like 24-20 Bengals. And if that happens, goodness me, there's going to be some tears, I think, of joy, obviously. But I think that's about it. Thank you for joining us. Listen, wherever you are, if you come down to the meetup, great. If you're at home, like Mozza, with friends and family, listen, have the best time and make sure you are heard in your neighborhood. And you never know, all that kind of positive energy, as Zach Taylor likes to call it, will be felt in Los Angeles. It's over and out from us. Nathan and I will be back on Monday evening.
Oh, good God.
I know, right? Bloody hell.
Not in a good state.
Probably not. Although I do have a late checkout at my hotel, so I did spend a bit of extra money because there's no way I'm getting out by midday on Monday. But listen, have the best time, guys. Jamie, enjoy the game.
I will. I'll enjoy the whole thing. I love the Super Bowl. I love all the pageantry about it. The referee saying to the captains, "Welcome to the Super Bowl." The guy with the big booming voice on the PA, kind of singing the national anthem in America the Beautiful. The big long halftime. It's a beautiful spectacle, and the fact that we're part of it is fantastic.
No, I agree. Pete, final closing words from you.
This is the year of the tiger, the Chinese year of the tiger. This is our year. We're going to get it.
There you go. That's quite something. Houday, guys, thanks for watching throughout the season. Actually, this will be our final tailgate
thank you.
for the 2021-22 season. We'll see you back in August for the preseason. That sounds like a very long time away. We've got a huge game to get through first. But just saying, we'll see you later on. There will be lots of other stuff. The podcast will keep going. We've got free agency to discuss coming up in March. We've got the draft coming up in April. Goodness me, there's lots to come.
That's going to be a long night. We've absolutely ruined our draft position.
Yeah,
I know. but you wouldn't want it any other way. Let's face it.
No.
Danielle Scheiss McGiven says hello from Cincy. Hi, Danielle.
Danielle
I'm afraid we're
Scheisty.
just about to leave you now, Danielle. But Houday to you. Have a great time over in. Can you imagine what it's going to be like in Cincinnati tomorrow? It's going to be equally as crazy.
Oh, yes.
So wherever you're watching tomorrow, have the best time, and let's hope we can do it. Let's really hope we can do it, because it will be I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be something incredibly special. Anyway, Matthew Morris is telling me to shut up.
That's a bad sign.
yeah, because I'm doing his brain in with all this kind of emotional talk. Right. Thank you for listening. I will say goodbye now. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching throughout the season. We'll be back later on in the year, but until then, honestly, have the best time tomorrow night. Enjoy every second of it. Soak it all up, and have a listen to the podcast on Monday. So it's goodbye from us.